Ladies and gentlemen, today is a long time coming. I remember 2 years ago, it was March, and we were in Washington, D.C. At the National League of Cities.
Right.
We heard about the growth of a virus that we had never heard of before called COVID-19. And we wondered while we were there in D.C., thank you, how we would address this if it hit American shores. And it became evident to us soon after that it not only hit American shores, it was headed for the city of Savannah. Now, you know, at that time we were only an administration of 2 and a couple of days old, 2 months and a couple of days old. And we had to make the very difficult decision to come back. And I remember John Fogerty's face that day in our media room as we said we really had no other choice, but we could not move forward with a St. Patrick's Day parade. And I remember the look on the Grand Marshal's face at the time, the chaplain's faces, and mine, and everybody, because we just could not believe that was happening. After that, and a difficult year that we all remember, was last year. And we recognized that our numbers were still too high for us to proceed with an all-out parade, but we did find ways to preserve the authentic Irish experience by having ceremonies properly socially distanced and properly masked. And I promised then that as soon as our numbers were better, we would be back. And ladies and gentlemen, through the work of a whole bunch of people, through the perseverance of our community, through being Savannah strong, our numbers are so much better than they were before. And as promised, we're back. So it gives me great honor to say the words that I wanted to say 2 years ago to Mr. General Chairperson. Welcome to City Hall. And welcome to our Grand Marshal and his aides, and the floor is yours, sir. I understand there might be a permit that you might want that we might have.
You're right. It has been a long 2 years.
I got to check out COVID numbers first, but go ahead.
I didn't like the meeting that we were in that day, and I don't think anybody did in there. There was a lot of tears. There was a lot of surprise, but we knew it was something that we had to do, and maybe the decisions that were made that day got us to where we are today. And the decisions that were made by our whole community maybe got us here to where we are today. And hopefully we played a part in that also. We know that we're a committee that comes together that requests a permit every year to put on some events, and one large one on the 17th that celebrates our families and our heritage and our faith and our culture. But we also know that what we do and what we put forward is celebrated by so much more than just us, that it's really something that we put forward that is celebrated by the whole community. And we realize that we are part of a much larger community. You all here represent that community that we all celebrate together every year. And we're very proud of what we can put out there for our community. We know it's needed. We know we need to we need to get back together. And when people have been asking me lately, what are we looking forward to in the parade, and what is it like coming back? And, you know, I can think of a lot of things that I'm looking forward to. Even those crazy horns that you hear every morning that drives you up the wall. I mean, we want to get back. But what I'm really looking forward to is seeing the families on the other side of the curb enjoying this parade again, coming together as families and friends, and they hadn't seen each other in several years, and coming back. And so we're so proud to be able to do that. Thank you for working with us and getting us to this place. We know that what we put out on the streets, hopefully, if we get our little piece of paper today, on March 17th, will make all of you proud too. I do want to, you acknowledged the people of Ukraine. I'm happy to say I got a good call today that I think we'll have some representation from some Ukrainian, I think they live here now, but of some people, some Ukrainian background that will represent that. So when you see them go through the parade, I ask everybody to cheer them on and to do what you can to remember them and to help them, and also focus on the fact that maybe the military is not as strong in the parade this year because they're doing some things for us overseas and for them in that area. So I'm here today to introduce our group and to humbly request a permit, but I do want to introduce the man of the hour and the person that we're going to put out to lead our parade and lead us in all of our events and represent us and our community of this year's Grand Marshal. Before I do that, I want to give some acknowledgement to my team who's here, my executive committee. Let's see, I got my adjutant here who you know because his dad was the last Grand Marshal that had a horrible time that day, I know, worse than any of us. My vice chairman, Ashley Norris. I got some other executive committee members here that do different things. I got Caleb, I got Mike Bolton, and I have some other members. We've been working hard on this for 2 years, and so we're excited to put this thing on the streets again. Our Grand Marshal that we've elected this year is a man who has been on the parade committee for 46 years. You've probably heard the song, if you turn in the back of your books, heard the song It's St. Patrick's Day in Savannah that was written by his grandfather. And go home and I want you to memorize it. And on St. Patrick's Day morning, I'm going to come ask you guys before I let you in the parade to sing that song for us. We'll see if we can make that happen. Maybe we can get Danny to sing it for us too. So he's going to introduce his crew. And without further ado, our 2022 Grand Marshal, Daniel T. Powers.
Mr. Mayor and members of City Council, are you guys ready to have a parade?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
Yeah. So are we. And I can tell you several weeks ago when I was elected, I think I could have taken the parade committee to the streets that day because we were really charged up and as we are today. So I do want to introduce my executive staff, and I'm going to start with my chaplain, Bishop Emeritus Kevin Bolin, John Kevin Bolin. My aides are Stephen Brennan, Tommy Edenfield. Who else I got? Robbie Johnson, Thomas and Joseph Powers. Those are my nephews, and Mr. Tim Welsh. Yeah. So. Looking forward to the permit. I got on standby on my phone. Chairman Ellis over at the county and the county attorney and those folks are kind of on standby in case we run into some kind of difficulty over here. But
Two.
Hey, we brought a leprechaun.
Yeah, we brought a leprechaun.
We don't have a leprechaun.
But anyway, we are really so much looking forward to March 17th. As echoing what, you know, the words of John, we are so much looking forward, you know, to the crowds, you know, and the participants and everything that goes with this grand festive day. So, you know, on everyone's behalf here, I certainly want to thank you. It's a great city, and they don't call us the hostess city of the South for no reason. So thank you very much. Great.
Thank you.
Our adjutant, and this is the guy who he's on my staff, and he's the guy who puts the parade on the streets. So when you see all those units lined up and it's crazy, and his staff has white jackets on that day, and they're the ones that are keeping everybody safe and putting things together in order. And I'll just give him just a second to
Is
tell
he
you
over
what
the numbers?
Well, he might have some numbers for you. I made promises.
I've been around long enough. I know usually where we end up, so.
That's why I brought the leprechaun. So if something doesn't work out, we got a little magic. We can make something happen. He's the same leprechaun that brings the dye from Ireland every year too. And so he just came a day early. I said, I need your help today. And we need to make sure something happens.
You're ready, right? You're ready, Mr. Leprechaun? All right, start sprinkling. Mr. Mayor, fellow council members, thank you so much for this opportunity today. We come before you humbled and grateful to be able to put this back on the street again. And as a member of this parade committee in excess of 35 years, all of which on the adjutant staff, myself, we are very grateful and are looking forward again to echo everybody else's sentiment to get this back on the street and back into what everybody's gotten used to before the mess. So we are grateful and looking forward to y'all's approval of this. And for your edification, Mr. Mayor, our averages have been running in the 300 to 350 range unit-wise. I'm pleased to announce that, I am pleased to say that we've been able to reduce that into the low 270s.
Mr. Mayor. Yes. I move that we approve agenda item number 4.
Second.
The 2022 St. Patrick's Day Parade permit to the members of the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee by Mayor Van R. Johnson.
Second.
We. Run, John! It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Notice I said aye too. I want to say.
We recognize that although we're having a parade, we recognize COVID is still real. And so we ask that we continue to be careful. And the parade committee has done exactly what we asked them to do. And that was to be able to make some reductions to help emphasize how careful we are trying to be. Obviously, ultimately, people have to help keep themselves safe as well. To that end, I want to thank Team Savannah, the city manager, our partners, because there are two parts. There's the parade functions, and then there's also the community events. And so they've been working quite hard to make sure that we create opportunities for Savannah businesses to win this year. Create opportunities for us to be able to keep people and spread things out. And so thank you all, council, for approving those changes. I want to thank Susan Broker and Marty Johnston and all the folks, Chief Mentor, Chief Menard, and all of these other names of folks who've been working all year long and helping us to deal with this year. And then we'll see where we are for next year. But I want to thank you all. I've learned throughout this process that a person, an Irishman in Savannah, lives their entire life to be afforded the opportunity that you've been afforded. And I'll tell you, it's well deserved. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
I got to hold my gut in next to y'all.
Look it in. Suck it in.
I also, right, no. I also want to thank Mr. Fogarty because we recognize that in January, our COVID transmission rate was 3,200. And so the MLK Observers Day Association decided not to have their parade because of that number. And you extended opportunities for the MLK Observers Day Association to participate in this year's festivities. To show you how fast time goes, it was 3,200 in January, and I believe right now we're probably right at 100. And so the science did what we thought it would do, what our medical advisory team told us that it would do. Now we just have to make sure people remain vaccinated, make sure we remain vigilant, and make sure that people remain careful. And so we're happy that this day finally happens. This council has not had the opportunity to participate in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And now it's on. Looking forward to it.
Yes.
I don't see the seal on here.
Oh. Oh. It would be our former tax commissioner to recognize. Oh, you're right. It doesn't have a seal on it.
What does it take?
We'll take care of that right away. Y'all hang out for 1 minute. I got one other item for you.